Hello. In today's video, I will talk about Judgment, which is card 20 of the Major Arcana. How I understand this card is I think of it as related to the Buddha family karma, which is about action. The color is green, the element is air. This card, I think of this card as related to this energy because this card is like a call to action. It's about judgment. It's about being called to like deeper knowing, like thinking beyond the immediate or the surface, thinking beyond the self, thinking in this bigger, more spiritual way. When I think about the karma energy, I think about how it has this very broad sight. One of the qualities of karma is that because it can see so widely, it takes many things into consideration, not just the self. It's often concerned with this bigger, wider view. And in many ways, this particular card is dealing with that kind of quality where you're being called to look beyond, look deeper, understand more fully and more thoroughly what's going on, or the truth of a situation. And it's, like I said, associated with like this kind of spiritual knowing or this deeper knowing. So in its upright position, you are being called to action. You are being judged on that action. And so it's like a call to go with the truth. I think about how sometimes we might perform an action, but our heart isn't really there. And so the action isn't really attributed to us or to our soul, because our soul isn't really trying to do it. And this card is kind of talking about that, like really you're being called to show up truly, to really search your soul and like reveal the truth, because you can't really hide once you're at this point. You can't hide from the truth. If your heart isn't really in something, you may perform an action, but you're not really performing that action. And it's like the intention and the action must match up with this card, is how I understand it. If the intention is missing, you're missing the point. If the action is missing, you're missing the point. Then it's just a fantasy, or where the action is happening but the intention isn't there. It's like this hollow action. And so this card is kind of calling you to align fully in that way, or saying that you are aligned in that way. In its upright position, this card is talking about one being aligned in that way, this deeper, more this kind of deeper spiritual truth and understanding. It's talking about having this kind of this true action, the action with the intention, and how, like I was saying, when that's aligned, it's talking about that. It's also signifies some kind of judgment, like this is, at this time, the action and intention must be aligned because this is what you're being judged on. This is what your life is about. It's kind of talking about that, like this is your life. And so show up truly, show up in your true, honest, raw kind of form. In its reversed position, this card is calling you to this. It's calling you to show up. It's saying, if you haven't been moving this way, now is the time to do it. Now is the time to really embrace the truth, embrace the spiritual knowledge, embrace the bigger, broader understanding. It's time to get out of the kind of smaller self and expand into the bigger spiritual knowing. And so it's like a call to like a deeper level of knowing. This card went through the 2 levels of development where on paper I basically had like pearly gates and a horn, clouds, I think some steps going up to the gate. When it went into electronic form, I initially tried to keep that idea, but it didn't feel correct. It was like not quite right. And so this image emerged, and I felt like it communicated, my understanding of what this card is talking about. Like you've got to shed all of the external to show up truly, because that is what you will be judged on, and that's what you're being judged on here in this time. Whatever it is that you're facing is looking for your true self. I think it's, it's like the card of revelation. It's the card of truth and pure knowledge and understanding, and I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm searching. There's like something more I wanted to say, but it's gone, and I can't retrieve it. So I guess this is it. Thank you for joining me in this video. The next video will be the last card of the Major Arcana, which is the World. Thanks again. I look forward to sharing that video with you soon.